when you need warriors to fight with you, you can only trust those who are willing to go with you all the way, not half the way, not part of the way, not some of the way, all the way. And this is one of those gentlemen who's willing to go all the way and fight for this great nation. Dave Milner, the conservative commentator that he is, you'll find him on Blog Talk Radio with English Defense League and on SHR Media with the underground. Forgive me, not the underground professor. That's who he hangs out with as well as I. But you will find the unpleasant blind guy on SHR Media. And ladies and gentlemen, he did a wonderful program earlier today, 3:30. See, this is the hardest working man in conservative news. That's why he has to take so many vacations. Dave Milner with us tonight. God bless you, sir. Glad to have you here tonight.
It's excellent to be here, Ken. I always appreciate being here with you. And actually, I'm going to be taking a vacay after tonight. So, guys, you won't be hearing from me again after tonight until the 7th of January. I'm going to be out. But if you tune in to the English Defense League radio show at 3:30 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, you will hear our Christmas show. And it is going to be fantastic.
You know,
Because we have some wonderful tunage from the Clinton household, which you guys are gonna love. Ken, I wanted to address something with you.
Yeah.
You were unable to communicate with me in regard to a debate which we played and commented on the show today, and it had to do with Tommy Robinson, world famous activist, debating a guy named Sarah Garvey. Now, Tommy Robinson made some rather heated comments back in July about the fact that, as was going on over here in the States, statues and whatnots were being torn down, war memorials desecrated, and things of that nature. And he was upset about it, and he spoke of, and I quote, our country or my country. And this Sarah Garvey guy, this entire debate was about BLM. This Sarah Garvey guy immediately took that as racist because most of Tommy Robinson's friends are white. In fact, he didn't even, as you heard, Ken, believe that Tommy Robinson had any black friends. And in a result of what Mr. Robinson said was that there were BLM quote-unquote protests that turn into riots, which is pretty much what they do here in the States.
mm-hmm.
And Tommy Robinson apologized, and give me your opinion on that now, if you will, now that you have the opportunity, because I know Jeff Mitchell is going to be listening to this when I give it to him tomorrow when you put it up
Yeah.
on the BitChute.
Now, first and foremost, I am very, very tired of white people feeling as if they are responsible for all of the detriment upon the earth. First and foremost, let me absolve you. You are absolved of all your sins, at least the sins of your forefathers who were responsible actually for having slaves. I know none of you have slaves now. Unlike the jihadists and the Islamists who are in Saudi Arabia and in Northern Africa and other places around the world who still practice slavery and are the same color of the people that actually are enslaved. So, first and foremost, white people, please stop it. Stop apologizing for the sins of slavery. Slavery was 200 some odd years ago. That's kind of like somebody sleeping on your couch for 3 months and can't find a job, and you tell them, you need to go out and find something, a gig right away. And they tell you, man, I'm used to being on your couch. That's the way you made me. No, get up, go get a job. So the same way, slavery is over, been over. We are not still facing the same problems of slavery. Anytime Oprah Winfrey, a multi-billionaire, turns to me and says, I have been put down by the white man, I can't make it, you are lying through your freaking teeth. Shut up and sit down. Stop apologizing for being white, number one. And stop apologizing because you run into black people with inferiority complexes who believe that everything that's put against them is because the white man's holding them down. They've been doing this since after slavery. In fact, Frederick Douglass And Booker T. Washington complained about them doing that because they weren't trying to help bring people together. They were only trying to help people separate. Here's the third thing about all of this. You all never have a debate based on a similar definition. In fact, I'm not a member of the Harvard debate team, but I know exactly if I'm going to debate somebody, what I'm going to debate them on. Never debate somebody on a definition that moves like the wind. When you talked with Sahar Garvey or whatever his name was, he was moving a definition, first and foremost saying that he had complete and utter control of everything that came out of his lips. If that were the case, then he's a racist and a liar and a cheat. The bottom line is you don't have to say that you're in control of everything you have because you're automatically in control of everything that you have. It's your thoughts. It's your opinion. It's your voice. You have a right to speak. What he's talking about is that he has control over not only his speech, but your speech. So you can never win a debate like that. Fourthly, in terms of a debate, what's the definition of racism are we going with? Is it the definition that white people hate black people? And I give you one example in which white people don't hate black people. You won the war. You don't need to debate anymore. Number two, or A or B in this particular situation, the bottom line is, on what factor are we talking about racism? Is racism based on prejudice? Is racism based on politics? Is racism based on economics? What is racism based on? And you cannot have a moving definition that goes along with your debate, because what you're not doing is solving the problem. What you're doing is masquerading the conniption that you created. The bottom line is, Tommy, you won the debate on substance, but on style points, you're losing it. And that's the way people react to your debate. Say more with less, basically, is what I'm saying to you. Define what you're going to debate about, and then knock the shit out of them when you're debating them. That's my opinion.
That's beautiful, kid. Because I pretty much had Mr. Garvey peg the first segment that we did, and you heard almost the entirety of that debate. And I mean,
he's a racist. The real racist was not Tommy Robinson. The real racist and bigot was Sahar Garvey. And his support of Black Lives Matter didn't make any sense at all, because Tommy was saying Black Lives Matter is trying to overtake the country through Marxist schemes to destroy the patriarchal family. Tommy, or whatever his name, or Garvey, whatever, was basically saying, because they have the same skin color as I do, I agree with everything they say. Really? Well, I want to take your wallet the next time you get paid. Are you going to agree with me since we're the same color? No! That's stupid.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a shame we couldn't have brought you in, because we'd have gladly extended the show for that. I mean, it was really obvious, and I have to say that Tommy Robinson should have never apologized. He had nothing to apologize for, and obviously when he said our country, he meant everyone. That was obvious. Just as you mean everyone, and just as I mean everyone when I say our country or Americans or whatever. Okay, this Garvey guy was just looking for racism anywhere he could find it, and you have to kind of wonder just how much money he scripted off of that.
Mm-hmm.
It was an interesting debate, and I do think that Tommy won on substance, definitely. But at any rate, we definitely wish we could have had John, and Jeff will get to hear this when I share it out. After you share out the recording there.
Yeah.
Now, as to your main subject tonight, it is incredible.
Ain't it?
To hear what those clerks heard in the Supreme Court. I mean, it is. You asked in our last discussion. You asked about the moral fiber. Did we have the moral fortitude? Do the people have it? I think some do. and I think too many don't. But it is obvious. The answer to that question is obvious now when it comes to certain members of the Supreme Court, even some Trump appointees. All right, I am still very proud of at least one justice on that court. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
because he was the only one that could stand up to Roberts. But as for the rest of them, holy, my God, man, um, it is. You heard my bite that I did. You guys will be able to hear this again on the 5th at the Unpleasant Blind Guy page at Spreaker.com.
Mm-hmm.
When the Supreme Court decides that they are going to be the deep state, and when they decide that primarily because the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court uh, is a whipped beta male whose wife wants to uh, be a big bug at the Washington wine and cheese parties, and he completely trashes the honesty of the American election system for that reason, then yes, the American experiment is over.
Exactly. It's really saddening in this persistence that we have that we really trust these guys to do the will of the people. They have no idea what the will of the people is. They could care less what the will of the people is. What they care about is am I going to have a covering of my gluteus maximus? Are you going to back me? And I've seen photographs of John Roberts with Bill Clinton down at the Lolita Island, where Jeffrey Epstein uh, prominently displayed such adulterous opportunities with children, and to see the adults around those little girls, little boys, and the truth of the matter here is that the swamp is so deep that Donald Trump only has one option at this point. It is the nuclear option. Declassify everything. Everything gets declassified completely across the board. Send it out over the next 2 weeks before the election in Georgia, and before Congress meets on the 6th. Just begin everything, everybody. Just start declassifying, just like they would shred stuff at the DNC. You need to make certain that you declassify everything and send it out, and start sending it out to groups like TECN TV, Gateway Pundit, Wikipedia, what's his name, WikiLeaks. However, just start sending it out and leave it up to the American people to take the task, the politicians and the media and all of the corrupt individuals that put this thing together, including Hillary Clinton being protected by Barack Obama with this idea of Russia, Russia, Russia. Put it all out there because we getting stories now. Put it all out there and knock the daylights out of them and make certain that everyone sees that you have only one choice to make America free, and that you must institute a martial law so that you can arrest every single body who's involved in the treasonous acts. Am I crazy enough for that, Dave? Is that crazy talk?
Well, I gotta tell you, man, um, we've entered we've entered a whole new class of territory here, and I certainly agree that President Trump should just declassify everything. I mean, if he's being forced out by this wide and deep corruption from the halls of the Supreme Court down to neighborhood poll workers, all right, if that is the level and the scope of the corruption that is going to push him out and that is going to disenfranchise the honest voters of the United States of America all over this country, then yes, I absolutely think that he should declassify everything. He should expose all the corruption from both parties all of these people should be exposed. They may never pay for what they've done, but they at least need to be exposed for the avaricious weasels that they are.
Exactly. And the truth of the matter is, Dave, we have admitted right here for national television, for world television, we have admitted here that we have a Supreme Court that is willing to allow a felon to become president of the United States. They know he is, and they're willing to accept that in order to get rid of Donald Trump. He has nothing else to do but to protect us by the Constitution. Nothing else. Lay it all on the line right here, right now. We ain't got nothing to lose.
Absolutely, yeah, you're absolutely right. And let's remember that it really isn't President Trump that they hate. He just embodies us. He embodies the great unwashed. He embodies the plebs. He embodies the serfs. He embodies the people who dare to question the wisdom of the intelligentsia in D.C. and New York and in Sacramento, California, and places like that. He, as we, is the one who dares say, "Wait a minute. We have got a constitution that allows for self-rule in the United States of America and limits the powers of government." All right, and they hate that because they hate us. Because, as I said, they want to hang out. They want to play golf with each other. They want to go to their fancy schmancy parties that none of us would ever get into.
Never.
By the way. Well, you remember, Ken, back during the Reagan presidency, before one of his State of the Union addresses, he went into this anteroom, okay, in the House, and Tip O'Neill comes up to him and says, "Yes, Mr. President, this is one of the places where we plot against you." And Reagan at that point said, "Well, that's all right. We're all friends after 5 o'clock." And boy, can we see now how right he was. Mm-hmm. I mean, my God. I thought that it was bad, honestly, that some of these high government officials, even elected officials, are literally sleeping with and married to members of the press. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's bad enough. Okay, but they've actually developed over the course of the centuries now into this inbred would-be ruling class. And after it took them 244 years, because the founders were not stupid. All right, it took them 244 years, but they've managed to tear it all down. And my message going into 2021 is going to be to resist. Resist it all. Forget about what the Supreme Court says from now on, because we now know that they're a bunch of corrupt bumwipes. Mm-hmm. All right, people should study the Constitution for themselves. They should get some guidance from good people like yourself, the underground professor. All right, people who are constitutional scholars. If they ask the question, is this constitutional? They should decide this for themselves now, because it's obvious that SCOTUS is not going to be on their side. That SCOTUS is going to be on the side of a status quo. It's going to get rid of the Bill of Rights. So it is now down to us, the people, to make those decisions and to act upon them. Resist.
And, Dave, you and I have spoken about the queasiness of Americans today. What our forefathers did in terms of establishing a strong republic built on the contestings of a vital House and Senate and the contestings of an executive and as well as Supreme Court. That triangle was put together perfectly, or square, however way you wish to do it, was put together perfectly so that none would have an advantage over the other, but all would work for the common good and good behavior for all of the people of the United States. And as we watch tonight, where a quote unquote president elect who is telling people not to come to Washington at all for his inauguration, don't come to Washington at all, and because we want to be socially distant and all that kind of stuff, you're looking at a Manchurian candidate who has risen to power thanks to both Democrat Marxists and Republican Marxists attempting to overthrow the U.S. government. And if we can admit that that's what's taking place right before our eyes, this is a queasy thing. And this is what I can't stand about Americans. The yeah, but Americans are killing me. Yeah, it's treason, but yeah, they're overthrowing the government, but yeah, Black Lives Matter wants lesbians in the place of husbands, but this yeah, but is killing us, and quite frankly, it's going to lead us down the road to an eventual civil war. And I want to tell you, Democrat Marxists, you are outnumbered by real patriots in America. If we ever went buck wild like you all did in Los Angeles, in Beverly Hills, in Dallas, in Chicago, in New York, in Baltimore, in D.C., in Atlanta, if we ever went buck wild like that, you would know the war was over, and it would be over quickly. What say you, Dave?
Well, look at it this way. If what is happening now is divine judgment upon our nation because we've turned from God,
Yeah.
really the only question that we have to ask ourselves is how long are we going to be in this darkness? All right, because it is only going to be through the hand of God that we come back out into the light. And it may take Jesus coming back. All right, it may take something that profound, but if that does not happen, we may be in a situation, where this generation may have to die out before another one comes up that is just tired of the tyranny, because at that point, years from now, I can tell you, historically speaking, years from now, even the people that are currently supporting them, the people with that mindset that are currently supporting them and thinking that they're going to get utopia, years from now, when when this generation is gone, all right, at that point, the people who thought they were going to get utopia, whose parents and grandparents thought they were going to get utopia, find out that it's not utopia, it's dystopia. They will be the ones who will create final revolution, because at that point the regime will be squeezing everybody so hard and will be so paranoid that they'll be looking in every direction at once for an enemy, and they'll eventually find it. Okay, that's the long-range scenario. The short-range scenario is exactly what you talked about. In fact, I can see that occurring if they squeeze and squeeze harder, and they do want that, Ken. I know that we're running down the clock, but they do want a revolution now among the people who believe in self-rule, because they think that they can wipe them out in one or two revolts, in response to one or two revolts. What we have to do is plan and teach, and in some cases even go underground, so that they will never wipe us out, because that's never going to happen anyway.
Never.
And that's what I want to leave everyone with, Ken, is I want to leave everyone with a hope, because in the end, we do win.
Yeah, we do. And Jesus came that we might have life and have it more abundantly. And quite frankly, Americans eventually are going to have to make a choice. Either you will bow to Xi Jinping and his governors, John Roberts, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, the gubernatorial leaders of the House and Senate, or you're going to rise up. And I want you to know that if God was with our fathers when we fought the Brits, if God was with our fathers when we fought the Mexicans, when God was with our fathers as we fought the natives, he will be with you as well in whatever revolution you must fight. Because it is said also in the Bible that where Christ is, there is liberty. We are at war spiritually. We are at war physically. We are at war politically. We are at war morally. And one of us is going to win. Either the victor will be the tyrant, or it will be the Davids like us that take them on. Dave Milner, Merry Christmas to you. Thank God for you and all that you do at TECNTV.com. I'm looking forward to being with you on Sunday at 3:30 p.m. For a very special
and
show.
Christmas to you as well, kid, to you and yours, and to everyone watching TECN TV. A merry, joyful, and peaceful Christmas. Get together, guys, with all your family. Don't wear any masks.
Yeah.
Love on each other. Love on each other. Okay, because that's what Christmas is all about. The birth of the King of Kings. Love to you all, Ken.
Love you too, brother. And I wish we could have spoken for a few moments about Hungary changing its constitution and overriding lesbianism, LGBTQRST, UVWXYZ. But I guess when you come back, add the P to that. I guess when you come back, we'll talk about that, Dave.
You bet, brother.
God bless. God bless you, brother. Ladies and gentlemen, Dave Milner, what a brother and what a friend. And what I would stand next to him in any battle. I would, as I know that he would stand next to me in every battle as well. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we're going to run out of time, so I'm not going to go to a commercial at this point. But I do want to tell you that we have some movies that will be coming up this weekend for your delight. And I want to thank the young woman for putting together the entire list of the movies and approving them. None other than Bonnie Williams, our executive producer here, and also vice president of movie presentations. Let me go through those particular movies right here. Hold up one second. Where's that list? Where's that list? Someone needs to put the list out for me so that, you know, I can just look like professional or whatever. All right, these movies this weekend, and we'll be putting together the time period, so I'm going to encourage you to go to TECNTV.com, the movie section. Go there and you'll know exactly what movie's going to be playing at what time. There will be one playing right after my show on Friday. There will be 2 on Saturday and 2 on Sunday. In fact, the number... There were 5. Okay, there we go. Number 5, Amazing Love, the story of Hosea. There you go. Amazing Love, the story of Hosea. Number 4, A Christmas Carol, which is a cartoon version of A Christmas Carol, Charles Dickens. We're going to love the Dickens out of that one. Get it? Dickens. There you go. Number 3 is The Nativity Story. What a beautiful story of a man loving a woman with a newborn child. Number 2, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. Yes. And then the number 1 movie that will be playing is The Polar Express. The Polar Express. We encourage each and every one of you to have the very merriest of Christmas, but have a Merry Christmas here. And Christmas Eve, just want to let y'all know, Christmas Eve, It's a Wonderful Life will be played here at 7 p.m. on Christmas Eve. So come on back and enjoy all of the great movies that we have planned for you in the coming weeks. Listen, we will take a quick break. We're going to take a quick break. We got to take a quick break. Got to take a quick break because I promised people that I would make them money. And as they make money, I get paid. So would you please do whatever you can do to support all of our advertisers, because our advertisers support great work by all of our hosts.
Hi, I'm Anthony Imparato, president and owner of Henry Repeating Arms.